back when access was easier and we would have a shed hunting party, man, we would just like 12, 20 guys even. We would scrub thousands of acres on all of our properties that we had access to. And, we'd come up with some rules about, hey, if it's a specific deer, I want it, or if I kill the deer, that's a great topic. Unwritten rules of shed hunting, right? I had a buddy a couple years ago. He invited me to come to his farm and shed hunt, and I found a really good shed. But at the same time, probably could have kept it, but I gave it back to him, and it was a good shed. It was a really good shed. It was like it went to a 12 pointer, and I think it was the biggest typical six. I think it was a six, the biggest typical 6-point antler I'd ever found. But I ended up giving it to the guy, and he didn't kill it. Nobody in his family killed it. The other thing that I do is, especially if you're hunting with other people, this is a little bit of an unwritten rule. And of course, all the rules have to be talked about by whoever's property it is, or whoever has access to hunting the property, and if they invite you. But one year, so two rules that I kind of live by with shed hunting. And one is, if I find the first antler, and I'm in a group, and I find the first antler, and then the next day of shed hunting, the other guy finds the match set to that. Whoever finds the first antler gets the match set, because I've always kind of thought that the match set needs to be together, right? It just needs to be together. And the second biggest shed I have ever found, a guy was out hunting. He found a big side the day before, and I'm walking up this ridge and I see an antler just perfectly tines up, fresh, still had the wax ring around the pedicle. I picked that son of a gun up, and I instantly knew it was this buck. And it was like a 80-inch 5-point side with a big kicker off of the G2. Just this beautiful, beautiful antler. And I knew I made a commitment, and I gave it up. And so I got my pictures taken with it and things like that. And then I ended up giving it to the guy who found it. The other one is, if someone lets you shed hunt on their property, I just think it's common courtesy. Nobody has to agree with me here. But if you find any antlers and then the next year somebody shoots it, I always like to give those antlers to the guy who shoots the buck, whether I know him or not. Okay. I know that there was a buck, man, I want to say in 2015 or 16 or something like that. I found this match set, and it was gigantic, dude. It was like, maybe a 160. And to me, that's big. A 160 matching 10, typical 10. And I had it in my possession for a handful of years, or for an entire year. And then I found out the guy shot it, the neighbor on the farm. I don't have any ties to this guy. I didn't have to give him up, but I knew that he shot him. He shot this buck, and I thought it would be a good gesture to hand over the match set and be like, hey, dude, these need to stay together. Everything needs to stay with this buck. So I gave up 160-inch typical 10 match set. It was good. The top 4 antlers that I've ever found, I've kept one because I'm the only guy who found or killed that animal. And then the next 3. So it went my biggest shed ever, my second biggest shed ever, which is 77 inches. And then the next 2, which were that match set of that 160, so out of that 4, I've given away 3 of them. And so it is what it is, man. It's just bone, but it's fun.